do it every year. It's like, oh, this team got beat here, so they didn't deserve X, Y, Z.
We deserve to be ranked higher, and we want some respect.
I would love to antagonize people and egg some people on and see what kind of chaos we can have in the stands.
FCS Fans Nation, for the final time in Season 9 of this podcast, welcome to the season finale as we end an incredible FCS season with the Montana State Bobcats on top of the world. In a little over 40 years, they return to the top of the mountain with one of the best games that we have seen in an FCS title game in a long time. Welcome to the FCS Fans Nation podcast. We appreciate you guys all joining us live. About 15 days removed from our national title, the portal is closed. It's time to look back on that game and look forward to 2026. Excited to have you guys along for the journey. Before we get started, we're going to talk about people that we met in Nashville. We're going to talk about some stories, and we're going to kick it off with a big shout out to the one and only Peyton. You're wondering who Peyton is. Not Cole Peyton, not even Walter Peyton, the coolest Peyton that we've ever met. This is Peyton and her dad that we met in the tailgates. And Peyton's dad hooked up, as you can see what Kyler and Jamie are rocking tonight, because Taco's got mine, some bomb-ass hats from their dad. They were selling these in the tailgate lot, and for free, Peyton was like, get these guys some hardware on their heads. So Peyton, you're the number one Montana State fan. You're the coolest fan that we came across by far, by none. We hope you and your dad had a great photo there on the field. Congratulations on the national championship. And we're excited to get this podcast rolling. Kyler, you're looking dapper tonight for a finale with the glasses. I got to say, buddy, looks good. Looks good on you.
You know what? If you can't be as smart as Jamie, you got to look the part at least. So this is how you trick people.
Well, we would trick people tonight thinking that this is the Montana State fan cast. But Jamie, what is your theory of why you chose to wear their gear? Why is so much Montana State gear on here? Give it to me. What do you only wear?
I mean, gotta wear the winner. I wear winner. And guess what? That's who the winner was.
That's what I figured. Wear the winner. Speaking of being a winner, be a winner, Kyler. I'm guessing you have to utilize some Renegade Hydrate. Do we have a read tonight before we kick things off?
Sure, we might as well. So, of course, this segment is brought to you by Renegade Hydrate because legs matter. Timing matters. And apparently, Illinois State forgot both of them. National championship, the lights are on. Illinois State lines up to click. Blocked. Okay, they reset, they rest, they're ready to do it again. Blocked. Second chance. Blocked. That's not a coincidence. That's Montana State's flying off the edge while Illinois State special teams are stuck in slow motion. Renegade Hydrate fuels the guys who explode first, jump the snap, and ends the season in a heartbeat. 2 block kicks, 1 trophy. Hydrate like Montana State or keep lining up like Illinois State and watching your season get swatted away.
Oh, poor Redbirds. Well, we're going to talk about why that happened.
Hell of a game.
How it happened. Kudos to them. And I don't want to delay anymore, gentlemen. I want to get back to talk about this game. We did enough of it in person, and now let's do it for the fans. Let's get to those top 6 topics for the season finale.
What are FCS fans talking and posting about nonstop? It's time for the top 6 topics of the week.
Pretty easy to kick it off. Let's get right into the national championship game for the absolute freaking ages. Illinois State, Montana State. Montana State with a 1-point victory, 35-34. And Keith kicks us off. What are your thoughts on one of the most epic FCS title games we have seen? Congrats to the Cats, he says, and great season for the Redbirds. Mr. Williams, you were there with us in the stands. We felt the intensity. Your thoughts and breakdown of that epic matchup. What do you got?
Well, the first thought I'm going to go with is just like being in the Montana State section during the game surrounded by Montana State fans. The emotional swings from that fan base was awesome to be in the middle of because, we didn't care really who won. We just wanted a good game. And it's like they were amped up, ready to go when the game started. I mean, and then it just looked like it was going to be a blowout. They're just partying. And then here comes Illinois State, like Matthew Frazee said all weekend. They're just going to do what they do, and eventually they're going to be there. And sure enough, they were. And when they took that lead, it was silent. Blocked the kick. They got excited again. It's just the back and forth was great. One main thing game-wise that I really hit on early was how Illinois State deployed Daniel Sopwitz and how Montana State covered him. They left him out on an island himself quite a bit. And Montana State's decision was he was not going to beat us. And I was really interested into why Illinois State didn't, motion him more or motion a guy to his side. But what they did was just let Dylan Lord do his thing. And I think because that was working, they didn't really worry about how Montana State was playing Sopwitz because they always had a safety over the top on him. But when they needed Sopwitz, they would motion him a little bit. They would move a guy to his side, so they had to make a decision, and they run, some slants in the post and an out. So I thought that game within a game was one of the bigger things that really intrigued me, and the fact that Montana State really didn't adjust to that and just let Rittenhouse and Lord have their way. It darn near cost them. And I know you pick your poison because you do that. And Sopwitz could just, next thing you know, just be the guy and have 6 catches in a row for 70 yards and they're in the end zone. From Montana State side, they really didn't go to the run very often. And obviously they knew that Illinois State would probably want to stop the run. And when they were running the ball, it was really effective. They just didn't do a whole lot of it. They got themselves behind the sticks a lot with a lot of procedural penalties. I think it was 9 false starts. So just a really sloppy game from them. So just some of the ways that, they approached the game kind of kept Illinois State in it. I don't want to take anything away from Illinois State, but Montana State kind of got out coached for most of it and just out talented them. Justin Lamson was amazing. Taco Dowler was amazing. Either one of them could have been the MOP, but it always goes to the quarterback. But what a game. I mean, just to be able to block 2 kicks. Illinois State, I think that kick, the field goal was going in. We can talk about the decision in a little bit, and I'll give a little bit of my thought on how that play happened. But what a game. What a game. So much fun.
Yeah, it was beyond epic. I was just absolutely shocked by the time of possession advantage by Illinois State. We saw it all playoffs, but I didn't expect Montana State, and this is credit to them, to be equally as explosive and to score so quickly on the drives that they did. I mean, that one to go up to the 21 points was 3 passes by Lamson, and they're already in the end zone. Taco Dollar's just Madden freshman moding past people. It was incredible. But Illinois State never rattled or moved from their game plan every single time Montana State did something. And by the end of it, it really looked like Illinois State was getting some sort of line advantage. You almost were happy that it was college overtime if you're the Bobcats, that you only had to go 25 yards. And it was just the resiliency of those Redbirds to not quit, but the talent of the Bobcats to take advantage where they had one-on-one advantages in terms of a player just being more talented than the other guy. Really impressive to see. And the second half adjustments were huge. I don't think any of us went to halftime thinking, dang, now Illinois State's going to figure it out and we're going to get close near the end. No, I think we thought the lid was going to come off. And credit to the coaching staff of the Redbirds. They really made some tweaks. And I think, Kyler, you were kind of a little shock and awe next to me as the Redbirds stormed back. We were standing there like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, what an insane game. I mean, it was a tale of 2 halves, of course. But then when you're looking at the end and the stat box, I mean, Illinois State beat them everywhere besides the end score. And that's really what matters. They were, I don't want to say better coached, but I mean, at the end of the day, they were more disciplined. All those false starts were insane for Montana State. I mean, that was a home field advantage. And credit to the Illinois State fans. I mean, when they started getting that momentum, I get it. They had maybe 1/5, 1/6 of the stadium, but they were loud. I mean, when they started getting the momentum, Jamie and I kept talking, and it looked like their stadium kind of kept expanding a little bit more. Every time we looked up, we're like, they just added another row of people. It was insane. But I mean, they were loud. One thing gutsy performance by Lamson on 4th and 10, the last play of the game. I mean, I thought they had no shot. Overtime, 4th and 10, and you throw this beautiful, beautiful pass to the corner of the end zone. Taco, of course, he did Taco Dollar things, but I mean, hell of a game. By far the most entertaining title game I think I've ever seen at any college level. It's like, this reminds me of almost like the Texas versus Reggie Bush game. Like, I would compare it to that in terms of level of excitement. Of course, the FBS is FBS and FCS is FCS, but I mean, holy crap. Jamie said it right off the bat, sitting in the Montana State fan section too, the mix of emotions, it was insane. You saw just joyous partying. Then you saw like, holy crap, this is going to happen again, right? We're here again for the 3rd time and we lost it. I mean, almost everyone in that section was completely silent. They lost all hope. We were sitting, there's two Illinois State fans who were behind us. It was awesome going, hey man, we're just happy to be here. We're not really fans of the team, but we live in Nashville now. We went there. I mean, we're just happy to be here. And then they started getting excited in the second half going, we have a shot to win this game. But one thing I do want to say, and this is kind of credit to the Montana State fans, and I'm not saying anything wrong against Illinois State, but Brendan and I were talking, Thumper, Big Thumpy over there, when he was driving me back to my hotel that night, whereas like pretty cool and exciting for the Montana State fans. Like, their fan base earned and deserved this title. Again, not taking anything away from Illinois State's fans. I'm not saying they didn't deserve it either, but to win a national title in 1984, to win this title right now, you could tell how much it meant for the fan base. I mean, I was looking around, there was so much happy tears, and I'm not even saying that. A lot of people, when they win a national title, it's excitement, they're just pumped. It was like emotional. I was looking around, kids crying, old people crying, adults our age crying because, they finally got it done. And this is a very passionate fan base. They do everything the right way. I hate them besides their eat shit grizzly chant. That's just annoying. We'll talk about that maybe later. But everything else, hats off to this fan base. You could tell how much it meant to them. And I thought that was almost the coolest part about the Nashville weekend. When the game was over, you see all these people, tears on their face, excited for the team. They're going back home, their national titles. I mean, pretty cool atmosphere to be a part of. Hats off to them. I hope you lose every game next year because, again, I'm an Eastern fan. I'm not going to root for you guys, but really cool to see the fan base get that emotional after this win. It was awesome.
It really was. It's just like I made sure to kind of go to as many of them as I could and congratulate them because I knew how much it meant, and they were also.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, just one more point on that 4th and 10 gutsy throw by Lanston. You knew they were going to cover. They were going to run cover 0 because they've heated them up all game.
Yeah.
Great job by Montana State on the play call by putting Dowler in motion, which means they couldn't press on him. And then to do the cross in the post, and Lamson just threw it up there and said, "Oh, Taco's going to be there. I trust him." And
I mean, it was a perfect throw. I mean, he got hit on the play too. He was getting blitzed. People were in his face. Gutsy throw, pretty dang impressive to see. And that's how you end the game. I mean, we couldn't have asked for a better title game. That was phenomenal as just an outside observer, not an Illinois State fan, not a Montana State fan, just to be there without any type of pressure. I mean, what a hell of a game.
Yeah, we saw that Twitter was crazy. The biggest names in sports, like the Curb Hurt Streaks and all these people. I don't think the FCS has gotten that much notoriety from a title game. There was everywhere all over the place. People are like, tune in now. This game is wild. Check it out. It's in overtime. I want to talk one more structural thing was I think a lot of people will talk the 4th and 10 to Lamson. I cannot get the touchdown for Illinois State to Sabakowitz from Rittenhouse, who had 4 touchdowns and no interceptions. That was a 4th down.
Killed it.
Yeah, 10 minutes, 13 seconds left in the 4th to get it down to a touchdown. So they're down 14 at this point. They could run it on that 4th and short, and they 4 yards from the end zone, they do the corner fade pass one-on-one, and they just trust their guy to come down with it on a contested ball. When that happened, I was like, dang, that is ballsy as heck.
That's such a low percentage play.
Oh, it's such a low percentage play. That was wild, and that really turned a lot of things around. And we can compliment all the fun and everything all day, any day of the week. But, at the bar after in the stands, the thing was on the bottom, that we're moving into here from Cool Kyler. He says it's Freaky Friday and you just switched bodies with Coach Spack. Do you go for it on 4th down with a minute left in the 4th quarter, or you go for 2 in overtime? I don't know if any of us are going to pick to go for 2 in overtime, but I want to fight about the field goal because that was the battle during and after the game. I'll just give my take because I think I'm one of the only ones, but I felt like Montana State was owning the line of scrimmage. The time of possession advantage was huge.
Illinois
It's
State.
for Illinois State. Time of possession is huge favor to the Redbirds. It's 4th and let's call it even a yard. You need 1 yard to probably ensure that you can get your kicker in a better position. Maybe Taco said this. Maybe they were on the right hash and they felt good about the 38 yards. I'm going for it on that 4th and short. I'm getting it down to as close as I can for my kicker, and I'm going to try that last-second field goal so Montana State never touches the ball again. I get it. If they kick it and they make it, then all this is irrelevant, so it's in hindsight. I'm just saying as a coach, they were pounding the rock so easily. I think they had the D-line worn down to the Bobcats. It showed in the first overtime right off the bat, and I would have gotten a few more yards to attempt the field goal and gone for it on that 4th and 1 any day of the week. So what do you got, Coach Williams?
All right, so you know me. I am always you play to win. That's always me. I'm that guy. Well, you could make the case that both plays were play to win, and I went back and forth in my mind during that, but I've settled in pretty heavily in the kick column. I thought they should have kicked. I thought that was the right decision. I still think it was the right decision, even though it didn't work, and I'll tell you why. And if you remember back earlier in the game, inside the 5-yard line, Illinois State had the ball, and it took them 7 tries to get in there. And that was weighing in my mind. And if you remember that game, they could not run between the tackles. Victor Dawson was great. Rittenhouse was awesome. They couldn't run the ball between the tackles. I mean, even the play before that was Rittenhouse getting outside, and you on a 4th down play like that, you don't want to play like that takes so long, because if you get strung out, then you're screwed. So while I get it, and I would have understood the go for it, I still think you kick there. I think the right decision was made. The problem was the end over on the left. Homeboy never moved. He never moved. He didn't get a hand on the guy at all. If he comes off the ball, takes 1 step back, even though he's blocking the guy coming, because you block inside out, blocks this guy. If you get a hand on and force him out, he's never going to get there. The guy he just gave him a brush by, and he beat the snap. In overtime, same thing. You still have to kick that. They blew him up again. You just have to execute right there. It's all about execution. I just feel like, they made the right decision. It didn't work because they didn't execute the play, and Montana State did, and it happened twice. And Montana State won the game from there, and it was great. I loved seeing it. You got to go for what you think is going to win, and in that instance, I thought going for the win was kicking. Though I do understand if you get that yard, you just run it down. You get a little bit more yardage, even if you get 2 or 3 more yards and you kick, then you have no time on the clock. But I'll stand behind that call.
To me, it's 30. To me, it's 38-28. I mean, if it's a 28-yard field goal and you got a minute 3 left, okay, 28 yards. Come on, kicker, we can do this. 38 in college football for the national title is not 38 in the NFL for the Super Bowl. I mean, we've seen kickers in the college level not do well once you get close to that 40-yard range. And you're talking about the national championship. Everything is on the line. It's all hindsight 2020. So we're all going to play quarterback coach here on Monday. Mr. Neal, what'd you see through your lens?
No, 100%. And Jamie and I were talking about it while it was happening. Of course, it was Taco, you, Jamie, myself. We had like a 2-for-2 battle. And Jamie and I kept going, I don't think you guys just remember what happened in the end zone. Jamie was saying it was 7 plays from the 5. It was like 5 plays from the 2, right? They were getting stuff. So, okay, now you don't kick it. In a 38-yarder at the FCS level, I'm not saying that's a gimme by any means, but you should be able to make that. The weather wasn't crazy. There was no wind. It was a clear sky game. So it's not like you had this impeding weather, impeding wind. It wasn't rainy. It was beautiful day. It's beautiful weather. So a 38-yarder, you got to trust the kicker, because let's say All of a sudden, you go for it and you get stopped again. Now everyone's not even arguing about, man, they should have ran. They would have been like, why the hell didn't they kick it? Because also in the fourth quarter, I don't think if you guys remember this, even if you give Montana State 50 seconds left, I don't remember how much time was on the clock. Montana State did not move the ball a yard in the fourth quarter. There were negative yards in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you guys realize that either. There were negative yards. So if I'm Illinois State going, it's a tie game, 38-yarder, let's trust our kicker. Let's get a couple points, right? Now we're in the lead. We can trust our defense at this point. And I get it. Montana State, scary offense to go against, to just go, let's trust our defense. But with that momentum shift, Illinois State defense was lighting them up. They kept doing off starts too. So it's one of those things where I think you kick the field goal 9 out of 10 times. And I don't think we probably thought, all right, there's a higher chance he'll miss it than a block. But I mean, at the end of the day, it probably, because even if you don't kick it, you're still, maybe you get a yard. You're still tied. It's not like you won the game. You probably got to set up another field goal as well, because Montana State's defense was slowing down the clock. They were fighting for every single yard they get. And maybe you're in the exact same position where you still have to lean on a field goal to try and win this thing. And as we saw with Montana State, doesn't matter if it's an extra point or a field goal, 38-yarder, they could block the damn ball, right?
Yeah, and it was a bad snap too.
Yeah, it was a bad snap.
Holder dropped it. It was a little low. Holder dropped it, so it threw like the kicker's rhythm up. But I still think if you look from behind, just that little bit to where it went up, the way the angle was, it looked like it was going to be good. I know you can't tell off of 4 feet, but it looked like it was probably going to be good. But
and no, I think you kick it almost every single time, and you trust your defense, who was playing lights out ball in the fourth quarter. I mean, the second half in general.
Yeah, if they had just busted those, like that goal to go at the 2, and they just bust through and just destroy the line, and that's what they've been doing. I get it. And I get Matt's point too. They had worn them down because of the time of possession. It's just not a chance I take. Yeah, laces were in.
But also, like, if they make the field goal, how that game was going, they probably win. And then everyone's like, yeah, that's what you have to do. Again, it's one of those things. If it's not successful, it's the worst call in the world. If it's successful, it's the greatest call in the world. That's why we're all in the stands. We're not on the field coaching. But I would kick it every single time in that scenario with that much, with how important that game was. I'd kick it, take the lead, trust that defense who was playing lights out.
Yeah, it's something Redbirds will have to live with and roll around a little bit for the rest of their lives. It's heartbreaking the way they go down, but in clutch moments, Montana State made the plays. Kudos to them, national champions, and not struggling too much with the portal as we move on to the future a little bit in our top 6 topics. We kind of talked about this down in Nashville as a collective group. I put it out on Twitter, and Rev and Cool Kyler say who has done well in the portal and who is going to struggle in 2026 due to the portal. And I'm happy that this is happening for the Bobcats. It was my prediction. I thought if they were going to win, that more players would actually stick around. I think NIL money starts flowing, donors start stepping up, team makers get bigger, and players go, you know what? Let's run it back. Let's go get another one. I think if you lose, you start to go, all right, well, that, can't play football forever, and 200K check sounds pretty good. But getting into the portal discussion, because we're going to get into our 2026 outlook of who we think is going to be the top 5, top 10. We'll get into that next. We're strictly looking at the portal. It closed about 24 hours ago. And I just want to go through your guys' thoughts of teams based off this question, who you think did well with it, who's going to struggle with it. Kyler, your thoughts first off. Let's just start with those Bobcats in terms of their retaining. Lost a few DBs that were young and good, but overall the cast is back.
Yeah, overall, I mean, that looks like they're going to easily be the number 1 seed to start the year. They lost less than what I thought they were going to lose. I mean, you kind of were right. When you win, sweet. You got to retain some people. Maybe the NIL starts flowing even more. But like Seth Johnson, he was at the airport right behind me when I was going on my flight, and he's wearing all his Montana State National Championship gear. And I looked at him and I was just like, oh yeah, he's going on a visit. He's not heading back with the team. So he's going on a visit. He left right away, where they're like, you can't even travel with us. But Montana State, I mean, I would say that's a win for the portal, not losing as much. I mean, they had an opportunity to lose quite a bit, but when you have Taco coming back, you have Lamson coming back. I mean, it looks pretty promising for the Bobcats. Other teams I want to talk about. Tennessee Tech looks like they're having a phenomenal portal so far. Tarleton looks like they're having a phenomenal portal. But Weber State got a 5-star quarterback, right? They got a former 5-star quarterback who is joining the Weber State offense. I didn't think that was on my list of stuff I had to watch out for. But in terms of the winners, I think right now you got to look at Tennessee Tech and Tarleton overall as probably the winners of the portal. But like we saw last year with Sac State, you could tell that was a very talented team, but they didn't gel right. They didn't get all of their bells and whistles, to perform the correct way on the field. You could see the talent was there. So sometimes just because you get a whole bunch of people that look really talented on paper doesn't mean it's actually kind of going to come out and perform as well as you want them to on the field. So we take this portal with a little bit of a grain of salt. Now, looking at North Dakota State, that's what I want to talk about, Matt. They lost some dudes in the portal.
They lost some boys.
They lost their strength coach. Now he's retiring. He's not going in the portal and entering, Eastern Washington. But looking at North Dakota State, that is a team who right now I believe is lost on the portal battle this year. James Madison also lost, but this is an FCS podcast, so sorry, Jamie, we won't talk about that. But I want to hear your thoughts right now, Matt, on North Dakota State and how you feeling about this portal, because I was going to arguably put NDSU. I even said it like in our group chat. I don't really care who wins the national title for a preseason ranking. Now, if they bring back everyone, that's a whole different story. But before all these announcements were happening, I might put NDSU still as number one, because I still think this year, outside of one game, they were arguably the best team. Now, all it takes is one game in the playoffs to ruin your whole season. But, I bet you if Montana State and NDSU were playing in Nashville, NDSU would have been favored. And I don't think that's really a hard take. I think that's probably a pretty accurate take. So now they lose a whole bunch. I'm probably not going to put them on my 1 seed. They're probably going to easily still be a top 5 team because I think they have enough talent coming back. But looking at that portal, man, you guys got crushed.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what losing does. As an FCS team, I think if you don't have a respectable NIL, and NDSU has it, and you're not winning on a big stage, temptation creeps in. And yeah, NDSU now, what was supposed to be their strength was an entire secondary coming back for the most part. Now they retained the safety position. Safeties look good, but cornerback really got gutted. They're going to have baby corners just like Montana State's going to have. Linebacker was supposed to be beyond the strength, and I think it still is, but losing Nathaniel literally to Michigan on the last day of the portal, that's a senior captain linebacker. That's brutal. That's a big hit. Offensively, though, NDSU is going to be a mystery next year, not really because of the portal, just because of turnover everywhere. Top 3 wide receivers gone. Top running back is gone. We're going to move on to the Nathan Hayes one-and-done era. He'll only have 1 season. And you're going to have an offensive line that's going to replace a tackle in Bo Johnson, an All-American center, best center in the FCS. And so you have a complete mystery on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, defensive ends and corners give me some pause, but overall I think the defense is still going to be really solid. But those hits specifically, when you look at Jalen Duffy's, you look at Bo Johnson's, Toby, and some of these others were expected to go. That doesn't give you a lot of hope where you go, oh, NDSU is going to come out and just beat the pants off of a Montana State if they were to meet in the playoffs or this or that. The way everyone was vibing and feeling about North Dakota State going into that Illinois State game. All right, they're just going to run through it. I don't know. I think they're going to be right where everybody else is in the mix for the national championship. I wouldn't put them at some elevated level unless the depth and talent is just mind-blowingly better than what they're losing. So beyond that, I do want to get into South Dakota a little bit, like the Coyotes. They made the playoffs. They've been a team that's kind of done well. They have some graduates. They're going to have a new quarterback coming in. But when you look at their portal losses as well, LJ Phillips, of course, they've got, him leaving isn't that big of a deal because they've got their All-American running back who was out for injury this last year. But those are some solid guys too. And then South Dakota State, losing Jalen Lee, they took a lot less hits than I expected. Mm-hmm. So the biggest question mark you're going to have going back to the Bison is how many quarterbacks were not stolen from the portal? Like UND quarterback coming back. Like South Dakota State, Chase Mason coming back. Youngstown, Bo, Walter Payton coming back. You got Lamson who's like, let's run this thing back. Yeah. You got quarterbacks everywhere, man. So the quarterback play next year about the portal should provide the FCS with some entertaining offenses. And I'm really excited about that overall. I could go all day on the Dakotas. Jamie, who do you think? What do you think about the portal season? It felt calmer to me overall, honestly.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, yeah, with a lot of those quarterbacks coming back, I think that's cool. They talk about how many guys are in the portal. It's crazy, and you see it's like, oh, this guy's in the portal, and you're just like, oh yeah, go get your bag. Like some guys are going to go get a bag. A lot of guys
won't.
A lot of guys are also going to get a bag, and it's going to be after I answer the question, paper or plastic, because they just finished football career, and it's sad. Now, if you want to talk, I think Kyler hit it. I think Montana State basically won the portal outside of their, or did well in the portal outside of losing their defensive backs. They can recover there, so I won't go any further there. The team I think loses is Mercer.
Yeah,
left a lot of guys left, including Walter Payton, finalist, and Jerry Rice winner, Braden Atkinson. Andrew Zott, your Buck Buchanan winner. Yep, he gone too. A lot of those guys did follow Mike Jacobs to Toledo. The problem, they didn't really restock. Their restock was 6 or 7 players from West Georgia, where their coach came from. So I think we're looking at a big step back for Mercer and a big step back coming for Western Carolina, most likely as well, because Teron Dickens also entered the portal. I don't think he's actually landed anywhere. If I remember, I don't remember him going anywhere. Could be wrong. Somebody will correct me. I'll have to check.
And Matt has Sac State right on the screen, right? So we could talk about them because they, last year we were talking about them having the greatest portal class of all time. And then, of course, they didn't perform as well on the field as what we wanted. But look at all these dudes going FBS. I mean, they had the talent there, which is insane to have the record they had. I mean, I still put them in my top 25 at the end of the season. I put them at, I think, 24 because I think the talent was there. They just didn't really capitalize on some of those games. But Sac State definitely lost. I mean, that 30 for 30, I'm still waiting for it on all this fake promise money that never actually came to fruition.
They all went FBS, Kyler. Look, it's on the screen.
They all went back to FBS. Yep, they went from P4 to G6, but it is what it is.
Half of them went with Brendan Marion to Colorado.
Yeah, 100%.
Probably
I mean,
offensive players.
He left his team right after he went. Yeah, there's no money here. You guys paid me $700,000 to snake me into thinking we were going to be, Pac-12 next year. Now we're not. But there's definitely some teams that lost. Illinois State, you're looking at them as well. I mean, they did lose some players right after the game. So I don't think we're going to see Illinois State back in the title next year, but we'll see. I mean, the portal takes and they giveth and they taketh, but Jamie did hit it on the head. There's over 10,000 people in the portal, and I feel bad because probably 6,000, 7,000 of them are not going to find homes. And some of them, we're already hearing it on the P4 level. I don't know if it's going to translate as much to the FCS, but, people are asking to go back to their teams, and they're like, nope, you left us. We already filled your spot. You don't have an option here. So it is tough to see this portal happen the way it's happening without the rules and regulations, because so many people would have had a spot to get a scholarship next year, play on a team. Maybe you don't start. Maybe you do. Who knows? Maybe you don't get the NIL. Maybe you do. But at the end of the day, a lot of these people are unfortunately never going to play football again, or they're really going to drop down to the D2 level just because there's not going to be spots for them. And it is sad to see.
Yeah, and it's one of the things too. You see a lot of instances where you think you're going to get a guy, and then next thing you know, he's been scooped up. I got a quick little story. There's a kid for Dallin Havea, he's freshman All-American out of Utah Tech. Went into the portal last Thursday. He committed to an FCS team verbally, but the next day, Coach Bob Chesney of UCLA came in, offered him 6 figs, and he did the official commitment to UCLA. FCS can't compete with that. FCS coach thinks he's got a guy, and then, the next thing you know, he doesn't have a guy. So you just gotta roll with it the best you can.
I mean, I saw it even today with the Grizz. Who would have thought this would happen? They had to commit, and then all of a sudden he decommitted and is going to Delaware State. That's probably something you never saw 5 years ago, where someone wants to go to Montana and they go, never mind, I'm going to go to Delaware State. I mean, you wouldn't have seen that 2 years ago. Deshaun is making a real impact there. But, yeah, the portal's insane. And, again, I wish there's rules and regulations, but it's not. It's wild, wild west right now, and you just kind of got to see it all play out and just hope your team made the right right moves and hope the players who are on your team made a right decision and, wish them nothing but the best. But unfortunately, a lot of these people are just going to be without a home.
We'll see where everybody lands and who doesn't. Best of luck to all those players making some adult decisions, and hopefully there's not adult consequences.
Yeah.
That being said, looking forward to next year. Listen, the name of this episode is basically the gap of Montana State for 2026. And that's because we're going to get into this next question, which is, who are your top 5 going into next year? Also, with Montana State returning a lot of players, is it Bobcats and everybody else for next season? I mean, that's really what it kind of feels like. And the main reason for that is because Montana State only had like 9 seniors, number one. Number two, yes, their cornerback hits, I think, are pretty big because they were already baby freshmen. And now you're going to have to replace them with more babies. However, you only lose one offensive lineman. That's a key piece. And then a tight end. They're bringing the rest of it back, including their offensive trio that is so dynamic. A quarterback now that's going to be playing with a ton of confidence. Brent Vegan and the whole coaching staff is back. And then I just want to go through this real quick, which is Montana State's football schedule for 2026. Let's say you don't respect strength of schedule at all, right? Let's say you're like, the Bobcats haven't played anybody. Well, they're going to be number 1 to start next year, clearly. And then they're going to play Utah Tech, Butler, at Nevada, probably win that. Central Connecticut, Northern Arizona, Idaho, Eastern, sorry, Kyler, Weber, Cal Poly, Idaho State, Northern Colorado, then the Brawl. That schedule, God bless you, Big Sky, and the out-of-conference is a joke. It is. However, we're not going to deny that they're going to be talented and good. Like, it doesn't matter who they play. So you're looking at probably undefeated Bobcats, then the 1 seed, and who's going to beat them in Bozeman. So there is a big gap in terms of talent, coaching, portal strength, and a favorable schedule to get a top seed next year in the playoffs. Bobcats should be big time out there. And then it's a little bit of a mystery there, Kyler Neal. We just talked them. I mean, who do you feel good about?
Right now, I feel good about kind of 4 teams. And it's just, those are the cop-out answers. It's Montana State. Montana is going to be back to probably what they were this year. North Dakota State, even though we just saw they lost their, strength coach, that was a big asset for them. They lost a lot of people in the portal. Is still going to be North Dakota State. I mean, that's still a team you're not going to, if they're on your schedule, they're going to be favored in probably every game. So it's North Dakota State. There's that aura about them. I do like South Dakota State, a healthy South Dakota State. In their portal, they didn't lose much. And then probably after that, I'm probably going to say Tarleton would be my 5th team rounding it up. Now, they didn't have the playoffs they wanted to, but we saw them. I mean, they dominated North Dakota. I mean, they put a beat down on them, looked way more physical than the next game, just kind of choked it away. But I would say my top 5 going in without waiting to see what happens in this offseason. I think you got to go Montana State, North Dakota State, Montana, South Dakota State, and Tarleton would round out my top 5.
What gives you faith in Tarleton coming back and kind of just?
I mean, I do think on the portal this year so far are pretty dang close. So they have some talent. They already have a very talented roster. I think everything in that little town is moving in the right direction to be a pretty dang good team. I mean, it seems like every year they're getting better. The fan base is around them. I like what Tarleton State has in terms of their resources, their impact, their fan base, the talent they're bringing in. So again, if that's what we saw as a start of a trend for Tarleton the last 2 years, each year they keep getting better. So this might be that 3rd year where they're finally putting a stamp on it. And we all thought throughout this whole year, Tarleton was going to be that 4th team in the semis. Then, of course, how they played against North Dakota, we went 100%. They're going to be that 4th team in the semis. And then they kind of crapped out the next game. They're probably not going to make those same mistakes. So I like Tarleton as my 5th team next year.
Awesome. Jamie, before I get to you, there's the Montana State fans that are taking my crap out of conference schedule. I don't know, it's rather the wrong way. You're not playing good teams, so that's number 1.
No, that's a crap out of conference.
It's a crap.
No, it's a terrible out of conference
that's
schedule.
No, that's not a strong out of conference schedule, brother.
Number 2, it's smart as heck. If you can pay for Central Connecticut State and Butler, NDSU's done the same thing. South Dakota State's done the same thing. That's called playing chess, Bobcats, and you are very smart. And I guarantee Brent Vegan is thinking the same thing. You need FCS wins and you need to win one of the big conferences, which is Big Sky or Missouri Valley, and you're probably a top seed. So
100%.
that's called playing chess, but let's not talk like Central Connecticut is special.
No, I mean, the FCS opponents they have are extremely weak, and then the FBS opponent they have is one of the weakest. So if you're talking about an out-of-conference schedule, that is an extremely weak out-of-conference schedule.
What the Bobcats had this year was awesome. Oregon and then South Dakota State.
Way tougher. That's a different discussion. Those are night and day difference discussion. They're going to start the year probably with a bottom after the first, few games. Now they start with what? Who's their first game? It's a Big Sky, Utah Tech?
They will start with Utah Tech.
And that's a Big Sky game next year. So, so after you play that, then Butler, then Nevada, and Central Connecticut, I believe those are the 4 in a row. You're probably going to have a bottom 30 strength of schedule to start the year. Now,
but here's
luckily
the thing.
they play in a Big Sky, and it's a weaker one.
Yeah, it doesn't matter though. And this is what
they're going to be routing them.
Smoother comment here says no one is saying it's hard out of conference as easy as heck. We better win every game.
100%.
You're going to be so talented. That's why it appears so weak, because Montana State is going to be so good. Jamie,
it appears weak because it is weak, but now they're going to just dominate him, and they're going to rest a lot of people in the fourth quarter, third quarter.
Yes, Bobcats, you are champions. You are the top dogs. So now we poke at different things with you, which is we have to nitpick at all the small things. Jamie, your thoughts? You are the top 25 extraordinaire. Heck, you'll kick off season 10 of the podcast next year with a top 120 plus team preview. So what do you think for next season?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to agree with Kyler. And in the order he said, Montana State, Montana, North Dakota State, South Dakota State. I mean, yeah, you can talk pedigree because, South Dakota State was down and say, oh, did they get him from pedigree? No, because they were a top 5 team before they had all the injuries. So, get healthy. Chase Mason's coming back. I think they belong there. North Dakota State, yeah, they've lost a lot. We'll give them the pedigree look, but they only lost one game by 1 point. So, it was a pretty big gap from the top 3 or 4 down to the 5 through 8 anyways. So they're not falling out of the top 5. And I just think what Montana has coming back on their offense, I know they lost Keon Loud on defense, but, Montana State lost their whole secondary, which is why I do think there's a chance that it's not just Montana State or the field. It's not that South Dakota State of a few years ago where they're just going to, be the team. And I do think there is potential danger in not having a challenge all year, because they're not going to have a challenge all year until the brawl. So maybe that'll be enough. My 5th team, Tarleton's in that discussion. I'm not going to overlook the team that actually knocked them out in Villanova. Still should be pretty good. I don't know where they've got a quarterback. I'm not sure if McQuaid's back. Hopefully they'll be able to upgrade there.
And they're joining a better conference.
Yeah, they're moving up in conference, so they'll have a little bit better strength of schedule. So we'll be able to see what they've got. We won't have to watch them on Flow Sports. So there's that. And that's not really tongue in cheek. It's kind of true. Other than that, I don't know who I don't want to overlook other teams like Youngstown State. I mean, Bo Brungard's coming back.
That's huge. That was the whole offense team last year.
Mm-hmm. I would like to see what Illinois State's going to have at quarterback before I say anything about them. But getting Dylan Lord to come back out of the portal, huge W. I think they should be a top 10 team entering the year. Obviously, the portal is closed for entrance, but guys still can commit. So I'll follow along with what Zach and Sam put together. Obviously, all of the guys that are in the portal aren't there. All the guys that are committed from the portal you don't see. I know there's guys that haven't announced or you just didn't see, but there's a lot of guys still out there that have committed, but there's a lot that haven't. And it's gonna make a little bit of a difference, but materially the top 4 are where they are. They're the gap, then it's 5 through 8 to 12. And we'll see.
And the cool thing about at least this portal and the FCS portion of it is more teams are opting in, right? Which means they're going to get more roster spots, which is pretty exciting. There's rumors about teams you probably didn't think that would end up opting in, and they're probably going to announce next year that they'll be opting into it and can afford to pay those extra scholarships. So
it's going to be fun to see. Already looking ahead to 26. And before we do, we better look back on what everyone is calling the belle of the ball of FCS title town, and that is Nashville. Cool Kyler and Jim ask, Cool Kyler says, why should the championship never leave Nashville, and why should all FCS fans just plan to go? Jim says, was it a surprise that FCS fans drank all the Busch Light at the Montana State Bar? Not at all, Jim. That was Busch Light.
He was so mad.
You could not find it. Jim wasn't happy, but Montana State fans, between some money, they were down in the Busch Light easily. But hey, give the review here. Kyler Neal, what'd you feel about Nashville comparison to Old Frisco? What'd you enjoy?
One thing I'll say is I actually love the Frisco Stadium besides the field, right? The grass could always be better. But I love the stadium there. I think it's a really nice stadium. But one thing that Frisco just cannot compete with Nashville is the proximity to everything. It is pretty cool. This felt like a championship weekend where, sure, in Frisco, you're seeing a lot of people, but you have to drive to each bar. Then you got to drive to another place. You got to Uber a lot. This is one place where you can see 24,000 fans. In pretty cool because that's a dead weekend for Nashville. It's the weekend after, New Year's Eve. So not a lot of people are traveling. I'm sure the weekend prior is busy. It seemed like the whole place on Broadway in a busy street, tons of bars, tons of options for you. It was all the FCS fans. You don't get that in Frisco. That is it felt like an actual championship. It felt like an event. It felt like a destination where people should go. Now, I'm not going to say it should never leave Nashville because I'm still I want to go to Florida. I want to go to Arizona. I would love to go to Vegas. And I get those places will not be as, tight in terms of one street with every single person as Nashville. That's probably an experience we won't experience again unless we're only in Nashville.
Or
but
Vegas.
I still want to. Yeah, but Vegas is going to have.
You got to walk 47 minutes.
So much, and Vegas is just so much bigger. There's going to be always people there. It's a different experience in Nashville, but I would love to go to a warm place, right? But it was really cool, and I honestly think like Nashville should outbid Frisco every single year because again, love the stadium in Frisco, love that they do their best there. This felt like a real national title game. Nashville cared about it, which was pretty cool too. You saw signs, you saw them announcing it at the Grand Ole Opry too. I heard there's a national title game in town and they're doing their chants at Montana State. Probably not the right venue for it, right? When they started doing some of those chants, but still like every single place we went to, they were talking about the game, which was cool. People on stage, if they're singing, a lot of, fantastic artists in that town, they're announcing the game. The people are rowdy. It was by far the best national title experience I have ever got to go to in terms of a pure location. It was phenomenal, and I would love it. If it never leaves Nashville, I'm not mad. But again, I'm jealous. I mean, I'm selfish where I want to go to Boca, right? There's some good stadiums there just to be near a beach, nice warm weather. I want to wear shorts and not worry about it. I'd like to go to Phoenix because I love that area. I'd like to go to Vegas because I love Vegas. But in terms of Frisco to Nashville, it's not even a comparison. Nashville is hands and feet dominating Frisco in every aspect of this event.
Yeah, it kind of bounces into the last question in this. They all mix together. Dustin says, best thing about the game in Nashville, worst thing about the game in Nashville. The worst thing I would say is that stadium sucks. That stadium is awful. I can't. You enter the stadium and then you go around and you go upstairs, then downstairs to go back up to rusted concrete under the bleachers setup. And then, by the way, after you win a national title, unlike Frisco, which has the epic just take the frickin' field, Game of Thrones, just coming over the hilltop, they're like, we're going to set up security with some nice railings. We'll do a countdown on the screen, and in 5 minutes, fans can take the field. By the way, that fans taking the field, the walls are so tall that you're going to all have to go just like this, fish in a barrel, and it's going to take like 2 hours to try to get everybody onto the field. Beyond that, food options were pretty mid and limited. I think you paid like $15 for 3 chicken strips and a small thing of fries. I don't know. The stadium was bad. And that just speaks to Vanderbilt. It's an educational school. I get that. But there's a lot more upgrades that place could do. To the positive, everything Kyler said, Could not agree more. It's a great city. It'll be fun to go to again, but I wanted to provide the negative viewpoint of what else is a really good weekend. Jamie, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll start with the bad, go back to the good. Yeah, the concourse was terrible too. I mean, just narrow and dank. It's just like, yeah, not enough like concession areas, anyways. And when you came up there, you had chicken tenders. You have chicken tenders, popcorn, and a water. And you told me it was $36 or some shit.
Yeah,
I was like,
Nashville is pricey.
I said,
Yeah,
I guess
Nashville's
I'll
expensive.
starve. But yeah, like the best part was just Broadway on Sunday. Like it was just awesome. Just so many fans there. Chris Hammond had a phenomenal idea. 1 hour in a bar, wrap her up and let's rip. And we just bounced from bar to bar. I mean, just walking down, we're walking up at one point, and just from the other side of the street, dude comes blitzing at us. It's Samuel Akem. It's like, dude, what's up? You know, see people, and people coming up. And one thing I gotta say is I appreciate every single person who yelled out, even if they didn't stop. Fans Nation guys, Fans Nation. I know it's easy with Kyler and his Matt and his green, and me and my bright ass purple.
I was gonna say it's way easier with you and your bright ass purple.
It's really easy with the purple, but like I still will never understand why anybody wants to take a picture with us. But you know, I appreciate it. Like I'll do it. I don't care. It's like if you want a picture with me, God bless you. I mean, like we appreciate it. Like we're just the three knuckleheads that sit up here and run our mouths with our opinions, and sometimes people like what we have to say, and we really appreciate, anything. Like that was one of the coolest things is just people appreciate what we do. And I guess we had a lot of Montana States that fans that listened to us, and had some Illinois State fans that kind of discovered our stuff over the time. So that was kind of cool.
That is always,
it's always kind of weird.
It is weird, but it is pretty cool when you have just people that, I guess they listen to us. I don't know why. You have better things to do on a Sunday or a Monday in your car, but hey, I appreciate it anyway. But yeah, it is cool seeing the people flip you off, but then also give you a hug right after. They're like, Kyler, you and your shitty takes. Come here, give me a hug. Right. Again, it is cool meeting all of you guys. I'm horrible with names, so half of you I probably don't remember your names, but like Levi, he's on this chat right now too. He's watching. Really cool seeing him and his friend down there. He texts me quite a bit, sends me messages after the Montana State games, and it was really cool. We met him at the tailgate, comes up, but yeah, that's something that Jamie said. It is weird, but it is pretty awesome to meet all of you guys. We do appreciate it because we sacrifice, just an hour a day. Because honestly, I like talking to Matt. I like talking to Jamie. So it's not even a sacrifice. We do this because we just have a good time. I don't care if there's 5 listeners or in some of our episodes, closer to, 10,000, some episodes when we go crazy. But I just have a good time doing this. But then when you start to meet people who actually watch your show every single week, I mean, it's pretty phenomenal. So we appreciate all of you guys.
Yeah, it's just like for me, it's not even a Nashville thing. Like wherever the FCS title game is like Matt, Kyler, Rev, Brian, Chris, like have become some of my best friends. So like this is my one time I get to see these guys. Matt and Brian live close together. Kyler and Rev live close together. I don't live near any of them, so I don't get to see any of them during the year. So it's all cool. And then, Kyler and I are waiting for our Uber Friday to go down to Barstool Bar. We're just getting ready, like Uber's pulling up, and we turn around and here's the South Dakota State hat. There's our buddy Jim Poppin. He's like, "Where are you going?" Barstool. We want to go. Let's go.
Come in. Get in the car.
Poppin with us. So that it's just cool. When Brendan shows up after everybody shows up because he is insane and drove from freaking Brooklyn to Nashville after buying his wife a car.
Which is a pretty sweet ride. He drove. Ariel's not an accident.
I understand, but
pretty sweet.
So yeah, I mean, it's a little sap from me, and that's fine. But it's good to see my friends.
We love you, Jamie.
No, it's totally true. It's the fans we get to meet. It's the friends that show up, and it's the memories that you make. The teams will fade. It's the great show, How I Met Your Mother, that I watch. He talks about the Super Bowl. He goes, honestly, I don't even remember who played in those Super Bowls. I remember we ate wings, we drank beer, and we watched the Super Bowl. So, of course, with the FCS, it's easy because typically it's NDSU or a Dakota school or someone. honestly, we appreciate everybody here. You guys do a great job. Thanks for the content. We love you too, Honey Badger, and all the other people. And Rev says it best.
Honey Badger
Really,
don't give a shit.
it really is. It's the family, he says. And the FCS community, I think we put that at the beginning of one of our videos of recapping our trips down there. And it basically said, all you have to do to be part of the FCS community is love an FCS team and be passionate about it, and you're in. And I think that's pretty sweet. So we don't want this thing to end too quickly. We don't want to get too sappy, but why don't we mix it up here a little bit and do some of our quick hits?
Just because your question is answered quickly doesn't mean we don't care. It's time for this week's quick hit questions.
Yeah, and before we get into those, I'm going to shout out to Danny Johnson. Danny Johnson and his daughter were able to make it down.
His daughter was cool.
Oh my gosh.
They're good people. I love the Johnsons.
Such cool people.
And you can tell how much we all like Danny because like I saw him first and I was like, wait, over Danny. And it's like, guys, Danny's here. And everybody's just come over and it's a big like group bear hug.
Met him at SLU. Fantastic human being. Love that family.
Yeah. It's incredible to meet good guys like that. Jim, Thumper, everybody down the line. It was so cool. All right, guys.
The Hack City guys. I mean,
guys,
phenomenal time.
Finally met the Hack City guys.
Stone's phenomenal like always. Yeah.
Sam Herder does a good job of rallying everybody.
They rallied Sam, McKinnell with Coach Fred and Timmy. Like we could spend an hour just talking through all the people that we hung out with that we love.
Yeah, for sure. Honey Badger, appreciate that. Bringing the FCS community together. That's what sports are all about. Well, something that makes sports feel a little bit sad is our first quick hit question. And Kyler, I think the answer might just be there is no answer. But Paul says, what needs to be fixed when it comes to the portal since it's not going away? Fees, teams that lose players, like picks in the NFL or limiting the amount of transfers. Any fix to this?
I mean, the one thing that has to be fixed is you should not be able to poach players before they're in the portal. No way. You cannot be honest and tell me if a guy enters the portal within an hour, he's already committed to a team. BS. That team was talking to them for weeks prior, getting the NIL ready to get them to join the portal. There's a lot of things that need to be fixed. I think contracts, I think you should have a limited amount of times you can enter the portal. Unless you're like a grad, then hey, if you graduate, fair enough, leave wherever you want. But there should be a limit of the times you can enter the portal. If your coach doesn't leave, etc., there should be no poaching prior to entering the portal. And those would be the number couples that I would just want them to fix. Contracts would be huge, though.
We'll see what comes of it, and hopefully some structure could help some things out. Rev wants to know, why are Rev and Matt so good at rapping? I don't know, but I will say there's obviously video evidence of me doing the real Slim Shady. Something that I've done actually at a work party before that gained me a little notoriety at the base once. I will say I'm getting old because I actually lost my breath in the third verse. I used to be able to just go all the way through. So I just started, chanting anti-Grizz chants, and that made everybody happy. But that was fun to get up there. The karaoke I did not expect to be such a hit. That was a cool bar. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, all the group, like Sam Herder and us and the Hack City guys and everybody, were going to these different bars, and we found one on like a tier of bars, which was karaoke, and everybody was signing up to do it.
Yeah, it was Post Malone's bar downstairs.
Post Malone's bar. It was tons of fun.
And next year I'll do a song about the western part of my state, and I'll step up and do it.
If I don't get the flu, I would jump up there, but I was miserable that night.
I can't sing, but hell, why not? I punked out this year. I won't do it next year.
Yeah, next year we're everybody's in karaoke. It's becoming the new Top Golf tradition, I feel like, when our trips go down. And shout out to Thumper on that. Paul says, does it make sense to make a third Division I division out of the lower tier FBS and higher tier FCS, since it looks like you ain't in the power conference, you ain't winning a national championship? Sorry to Jamie and James Madison.
Hold on. No, we're winning a national championship tomorrow. Or at least half of our players are.
Oh yeah. For the Hoosiers, JMU Hoosiers. Kyler would say, you can see on the screen, Kyler would say, yes, this makes sense. They're not on this level. But those G6 schools are not going to want that to happen, correct, Jamie? Come hell or high water?
No, I don't think they're going to. If at all they can, they'll prevent any additions from the FCS. They don't want any more dilution of the FBS, which is kind of funny because they all diluted it themselves too. Like all of Conference USA. At one point, pretty much the entire Sun Belt was FCS. I think actually the whole Sun Belt was FCS at one point, with a lot of national titles at this level. So it's just the nature of the beast, and I think at some point there's going to be more additions.
They're not going to want it because they think that they are the top dog. But like I said, and you guys can look it up, the top G6 program financially is closer to a team that has $0 in their football program. I mean, a team that doesn't have a football program than they are to the top dogs in the FBS. The gap is massive, and I get it. They want to puff their chest and say, hey, we're the same as these guys. You're not. I mean, I think if you had that third division, and that would create some fun engagement. It would be a blast. I would love a G6 playoff with some of the top FBS programs. That could be a fun revenue-generating thing.
I know we'd have to be a different podcast, but it'd be fun.
We have to switch up G6 Nation. The gap, I like to use it would take 11 and a half days to count to 1 million if you started to just say 1, 2, 3. Do you know how long
then it's 31 years to count to 1 billion?
31 years to 1 billion. That is the gap of these teams.
Ridiculous.
Best or worst Nashville food, says the Rev. We were there with you, buddy. Hey, Rev, I really liked that sandwich I had at that little sandwich shop that morning me, and Jamie walked. I thought that thing was super bomb. So that little burrito sandwich I had was super good. I don't know about the wings stuff. The wings weren't the craziest for me. What do you think, Kyler?
The best food I had in Nashville this time was those Wagyu sliders at Aldine's. Those things were insane. I mean, even Rev, he looked at it, was like, I'm buying some too. Your pot roast that you had at Aldine's was phenomenal as well, Matt. What was that, Jamie?
That was Matt.
Gosh.
I had.
You just took me back. I did not think of that. 1,000%. Holy crap.
Aldine's has phenomenal food.
Yeah.
I was sure at the bar. Phenomenal food.
I had a prime rib sandwich. Yeah, that was Aldine's
way better than that hot chicken shack we went to, because that's not. But that hot chicken shack was still good. I did the mac and cheese one. That thing was still good, but Aldine's was fantastic.
Aldine's was awesome.
It wasn't even that expensive, honestly, compared to I thought when the bill hit.
It was like cheaper than everything else. The Wagyu burgers were like $19 compared to everything else I bought that weekend. Way cheaper.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me of that. That pot roast was crazy good. Kyler, what if any teams could you see entertaining a move to FBS with the rearranging of Missouri Valley and MAC schools to the holding on to the Pac-12? Paul wants to know.
Yeah, I mean, I do think we're going to see UC Davis soon go to the next level, especially with that new 30,000 stadium that they're going to be building, because they should raise the money pretty dang quick, and they're already in the Mountain West for everything else. I think that's the next jump. And then I still don't think it's far-fetched to think eventually Tarleton, the two Montanas in North Dakota State and South Dakota State would make a move. I mean, I would be shocked if that does not happen within the next 5 years, to be honest, because I just think that's how the college football landscape's changing. But I think the next move is probably going to be a Tarleton or a UC Davis, to be honest.
Makes sense. Jamie, if you had to sell a casual football fan on the FCS using this season, what would you point to? Cool Kyler wants to know.
The national championship game.
Straight up. Watch this game. Yeah, I think I'd also point to them. I'd be like, see how Illinois State wasn't like one of the top 12 teams, but still got in the playoffs because of an expanded field and auto bids, and it still worked itself out. This is how a playoff is supposed to work. It's a crazy concept. When are you going to take this to TV? You all could beat out College Game Day, says Renee. She's so nice.
Renee's a sweetheart.
We tried.
We can.
We tried, but we can't get our computers to link up. Or at least last long enough with a battery for us to complete an episode. So we tried our classic Frisco live show. Let's just say the Nashville first live show attempt went about as well as the first Frisco one, which was in the rain
at the stadium.
Yeah. It's so let's just say next year, Renee, we're going to come back at it. We're going to go in a nice hotel room where the Wi-Fi is good and the computer's plugged in, and we'll get our College Game Day style theme on.
We might be able to figure out a way to get a media pass and do it in the stadium. I think that's an option next year. I'll try and
we should try it.
Yeah, I think we should too. We probably should pull that trigger next year. Jamie, do you again say able to do anything to deter FBS programs from poaching FCS players? Dustin would like to know.
No, I mean they're not going to do a damn thing about it. Like FBS players, schools are doing it to FBS players. Watch Darian Mensah. The dude he's coming back. He had a 2-year deal to come back to Duke, and at the 11th hour yesterday or Friday, right before the portal closed, he's like, "I'm going in the portal." So it sounds like Miami's going to throw a bunch of crap at him since they're going to lose Carson Beck, and it's not just the FCS, folks. It's happening at the FBS level, at the Power 4 level, within the same damn conference. So, yeah, nothing. They're not going to do a damn thing. There's no regulation. Never has been, never will be.
What a crazy, crazy world. Hey, the last question we're going to answer for the FCS Fans Nation podcast in Season 9. What is your favorite off-season vacation spot, says Cool Kyler. So like all these NFL players, they head to Cancun at the end of it. So, Kyler, off-season vacation spot. What do you got?
I mean, I literally went to Cancun, and I don't know. I've done that 4 of the last 7 years or something like that. I love it down there, man. It's good drinks, good food, beautiful view, and then, take a little snorkel trip. I mean, Cancun's just the best. And it's the most, for the holiday season, it's one of the most cost-effective places you can go. It's double the cost compared to the rest of the year, but it's still 7 days, all you can eat, all you can drink, really nice place, $3,000 to $4,000 for 2 people. Not bad.
That's pretty much a steal. I've said it many times. I like the most expensive place on earth. Some of you guys have me on Facebook. My Facebook profile picture is literally Allison and I 12 years ago on the dock in Key West seeing the sunset for the first time. And it basically just speaks to, that is definitely my life goal, to be there as much as possible with her. So I love a Key West or a Florida trip, no doubt. And that's where I hope a national title is one day. Jamie, where do you travel to?
I think this year, 20th anniversary, we're going to try to go back to Bermuda if we can pull that off on the timing. So
congrats, brother.
The plan. Yeah, 20 years, man. Getting old, that's all that means. 20 years married, 25 together. So, stuck through it. Probably Bermuda. But otherwise, we might hit Fenwick Island, which is in South Delaware, just north of Ocean City, Maryland. That's probably a more popular spot. And the funny thing is all the trash cans in Delaware are much like their football team. Blue and yellow is trash. So,
too good. Jim Poppin says, thanks, fellas. Thanks for letting me hang with you. I can't wait for the next time. We love you, Jim. We appreciate you.
Jim, we love you, man. It's not even a thank you. We want to say thank you for hanging out with us, knuckleheads.
Coming to the Johnny Cash with us.
You're crazy, man. Well, as is tradition, there is a little sound background music option here on StreamYard called Night Driving. Turn it up there. This is always the song for just a little end of the season discussion. So we have officially made it to the end of season 9. Before we get into our final thoughts, I will say congratulations to Brexton Roth and congratulations to Matt Berg, both winners of the Survivor Challenge and winners of the Playoff Challenge bracket. I just shipped them their $50 Visa gift cards. Kudos to them. 1,000% shout out to all the fans on all of our pages on Twitter and Facebook. Those continue to grow just the brand of the FCS, and we appreciate that. Nearing 27,000 on Facebook, nearing 8,000 on Twitter. Beyond that, huge, humongous shout outs. Even if you subscribe for 1 month just for the competitions and then canceled. And to those of you who stick it out to tossing us 99 cents a month on FCS Gold, that has gone such a far way to get more podcasts on this network, to help with the FCS brand, and to make those prizes and contests more doable, paying the bills for StreamYard and for Canva and for all the editing stuff that we do. That sort of support has been massive. So to the FCS Gold community, we truly appreciate you guys. We cannot underestimate the impact of that. It's truly a Patreon that has helped us sincerely. And then, of course, to all of our friends within the FCS podcast community, you're talking our podcast network brothers and Jackrabbit Illustrated, and we're talking about, our guys who are doing our gambling podcasts, and we're going to have some maybe Idaho State coming on, Fight on Montana, a huge one, and honestly, just anyone who's contributed even 1 second to Rev with his Southland sermon, anyone who's contributed a second onto this podcast network has been massive. And we don't make money off this whole thing. We put the money right back in and then pay the tax bill to be able to just provide FCS content. But I just cannot be more thankful enough structurally on those departments for 3 guys to talk in their basements and closets about FCS football. Beyond that, what do we have for final thoughts on the 2025 season and the end of season 9 of the FCS Fans Nation podcast? Mr. Kyler Neal, the floor is yours.
Man, just big shout out to Montana State. I know this whole episode was about you guys, but I already said it earlier. It was pretty cool to see the emotion. So hats off to you guys. I hope you never win it again. But it was pretty cool to experience that with all of you guys. As for Matt and Cheney, man, I'm going to miss you guys. Maybe we could do some off-season content a little bit more this year because I'm going to miss my little buddies. But it's always a blast. We've been doing this for 9 years, which is insane. Again, wow. I met Matt in 2016 on a thread because he was the only logical NDSU fan that I could interact with. And him and I would go back and forth. And then all of a sudden, this page started with all of us knuckleheads with Wyatt, starting the page. And again, it's just created more lifelong fans and friends. And, Matt, you were at the bar going, do you think this is always going to happen? Are we going to come every single year? Are we going to keep doing this podcast forever? I mean, probably not, just because everything always comes to an end. But guess what? We're coming back at least next year, no matter what. So it's a blast to go hang out with you knuckleheads. And I gotta say, man, I love you too. And that's weird to say, but I don't care. I'm gonna say it. I'll say it again. I love you too, man. So I appreciate everything you guys do. Even when my team sucks, this is the only reason why I'm still engaged in FCS football. So can't wait. Hopefully Eastern's back next year, baby.
Right back at you, dude. Mr. Williams, the final thought.
I mean, Rev put it in the chat. It's definitely a family. Our small little FCS family is like I said, it's like some of my best friends I've found through this. And I wish I got to see you guys more. I mean, we do this, and that's fun. Like this is not a job at all. Obviously, it's fun because we just get to sit and do what we would do anyways on our stupid text and talk trash at each other and talk about what just happened. Like we were sitting up in the stands bantering about. The funny thing to me is like we didn't even bring up the guys that were in front of us. It's like turns around, hey, are you guys coaches? We're like, no, we just like we just like football. We kind of know what we're talking about. He goes, you guys are really starting a podcast. And we're like, hey, just in case, imagine that, just so you know. So he's subscribed right there. I mean, that's some of the cool stuff.
It's pretty cool.
I mean, it's not just like walk up and shake somebody's hand. You walk up, you give these guys hugs. Like our whole group. That's just what you do. You just give everybody a hug. Jump up and just like first thing you do is just grab them a hug. You know what? It's cool. Like, everybody, like the guards are down. Like these guys have been there for me through some bad things too, that I've been through in times and would reciprocate. And even Lawrence Smith, who we don't see on here much anymore. He did kind of blow up on Twitter a little bit as he was going after people when we made the playoff. But Kyle and I went up to his wedding in Cheney, Washington. You don't just do that. I mean, we've all I've met Kyler's wife. I've met Matt's wife. They both met my wife. It's cool. Like it's we need to. I know Kyler's met Rachel, but I haven't. Like to do that with Rev, meet his wife and Brian's fiance and all that. So it's fun. Like I said, my team is still in the FBS and I'm still here. I ain't going no damn where. So you got to put up with me again next year. I'm gonna run it back.
You're gonna run it back?
I'm gonna run it back.
I think putting up with you is a pretty easy ask. I don't think that's too tough of a thing. Structurally, I mean, the season, I think, no matter how it would end as an NDSU fan overall, definitely one of the most fun FCS seasons that we've ever had in terms of suddenly parity appeared and the unknown and the upsets and just Montana State starting from the loss to South Dakota State and then they're 7-0 and then it switches and they aggressively lose all these games and I'm bringing up bad memories for people, but at the end of the day, it did make it more fun and that was cool. And just structurally to see that. And this podcast is the reason that it's not just a bunch of junk for me of like NDSU lost and then my whole world explodes. It's like, oh, well now I have so many other things to look forward to. I think that's a true blessing in life. Shout out to my wife, Allison. She's managing a puppy right now and 3 boys because we just want more chaos in our life. And without her, I couldn't travel these trips. I couldn't be on the podcast right now. I couldn't be doing any of this stuff, but I had the best wife and mom in the world. So that's a big shout out. And then, yeah, you guys are super important to me and you always will be. And this stuff is incredible. It's fun to get together and I'm excited to already book the hotels and get it rolling for next year. And the only reason I really joined the Marines was because my radio program at a community college called Thief River Falls Community College, they cut that program the summer I was supposed to go after high school for sports radio. That was my 2-year degree back in 2007. And then I went for generals for a semester, said screw this, and then hopped into the military. So
now you're doing this. You really regressed in life.
It is an absolute blessing to be able to do what was probably my dream, but probably collect a few more bucks from Uncle Sam than I would doing sports radio in small town North Dakota. So it's all around great stuff. And
I can't wait to talk at your guys' funeral one day.
Dude,
You might have.
Well,
Way to get dark.
wait, no. Kyler just basically claimed, you hear what he really said there, Jamie? He really just said,
Well, yeah, he's gonna out. Well,
he's
I'm the
going to
oldest.
talk at ours. So he's like, I'm
Yeah.
lasting.
Once I'm on my deathbed, I'm killing you guys first, just so I can.
Well, one of us will be at the other 2, and the other one will have neither one of us. So and one is in the middle. So that's
hope
life.
that's
That's how it
me.
is. And
Life
I got
is-
you both by 8 years. So
At least
odds are
Grandpa.
not in my favor.
Yeah, the way you've been working out and crushing it, though, it ain't going to matter. So, all right, guys. Well, with that does bring us to the end of season 9 of the FCS Fans Nation podcast. Shout out and congrats to the Montana State Bobcats. You are national champions. Prep the offseason, get the players ready, rest easy, because come August, this is coming back for season 10, and we will see who starts battling for the 2026 national championship. We love you all. We appreciate you all. We'll catch you on the next one. Boom.
Boom.